Good morning. It is a beautiful Arkansas weather day. It rained all day yesterday. It is super misty and cloudy and foggy right now. Everything's extremely wet, extremely damp, and that's perfect for what I wanted to talk about today. I wanted to specifically talk about some duck hunting survival situations, right? I love duck hunting. I'm not trying to deter anybody from it, but let's just acknowledge a few things right off the bat, right? Duck hunting involves cold, wet, and dark scenarios, okay? Every year you hear about somebody having a boat wreck, flipping a boat. If you've duck hunted any amount of time, you've witnessed these things. So with all these different factors, it can be very easy turn into a survival situation, all right? And I just wanted to show y'all a quick little kit, nothing too spectacular, okay? Because I know you're already carrying stuff. You already have decoys, you already have a blind bag, maybe a dog stand, you're carrying all this other stuff. And I know I don't want to add to you, but you can have a very simple little survival kit that's going to increase your odds, and it can fit right here in your pocket. All right, let's go over real quick what we're going to have in this kit. Okay, first off, we have a simple Mylar space blanket, okay? This one's orange on the outside. These are really cheap. I think I ordered this one off of Amazon. I like the bright orange for the signaling piece, but it still has the shiny side on the other side of it, right? I know these things aren't very durable, I'm aware, but for how they can compact down, how you can put them just in the pocket, they're really convenient, okay? The next thing is our combustion device, our lighter, okay? Uh, I have some Gorilla Tape on here. I just do that with all my lighters anyway. But the only difference here is take a screwdriver, take something dull. Don't use a sharp knife or anything. But pop off that child safety there off of there. And the reason why you're doing that is that little safety lock will hold in moisture in your lighter. So if you drop this in the water, if it gets wet, yeah, you can blow on it and you'll get it to light eventually, but it will happen faster if you remove that safety. And if we're talking about cold weather and stuff, we're losing our mechanical skills. That's easier to do without that safety on there. Okay, it tends to light better without that. The next thing that we're going to have in here is going to be our fire starting device. Now we're going to make this. I'm going to show y'all what I do. Is the cotton balls and Vaseline. I'm sure you've heard of it. You've seen it. They're easy to make, but only thing I do is I add a crayon to it by just shaving off some of this wax and adding that to it. It increases the burn time of your cotton balls and your Vaseline. And when everything's wet and damp, probably frozen, right, you need that extra burn time. I did this before, adding this will burn just with 3 cotton balls and half of a crayon. It'll burn for about 15 minutes. So we should be able to dry out anything in those 15 minutes. And once I make it here and I show y'all how it's done, we'll go over here and actually start a fire. And we're going to use some wet grass, wet sticks, and we're going to see what we have happen. The next thing in your kit is something the duck hunter should have anyway, right? It's going to be our lanyard, all right? Obviously, this is cordage, okay? So I can take my pocket knife out. I could cut my lanyard somewhere, start undoing this 550 cord, and now I have plenty of cordage to make a debris hut or anything like that to get some type of shelter going. And now my dog whistle or the duck calls, these have now become signaling devices. Y'all know, again, if you've duck hunted any amount of time, you've heard that guy over there in the corner not laying off of his duck call, just blowing it 24/7, right? Well, we're going to use that to our advantage. And we're not going to sound like a duck when we do it. We're not going to try to sound good. We're going to just try to make a lot of noise with this, right? Because if we're in a scenario, somebody, if they come over there to yell at me about me ruining their duck hunt, well, at least they're going to come pick me up. I'm ready for a ride. I'm with it. But this is our signaling device now. That's going to be part of our kit to help us get out of the situation. All right, so let's make this fire starter, okay? I'm just going to grab 3 or 4 of these cotton balls. It doesn't really matter. However much you want to put in here is completely up to you. I just chose a number and went with it, okay? I'm opening my bag up first here. And everything I'm working on right now is wet anyway. This bucket was outside and all that, but this stuff will burn. This petroleum jelly, it'll do what it needs to do. So I'm just going to get in there and scoop up some. I just have a glob of it there. Put it in the bag, go back for my other cotton balls. Do the same thing, get me a big scoop of it. I'm just gonna put that in the bag. Now, before I smooth and squish that all around, set that down here, I'm gonna take my knife and start feathering out, grinding down some of this crayon. And I don't care, that paper will burn, so I'm not worried about it. I'm just gonna go nice and easy and try to get a bunch of little flakes. All right, now got a bunch of our wax and paper down in there. Just gonna seal the bag up. I'm just gonna move all this around. Start working that wax in with the cotton balls and the Vaseline. All right, now that we have all that done, come over here and put our cotton balls in here. Going back and putting our space blanket in. And our lighter. Closing this back down. Now I'm not going to tape this up or anything like that because again, if it's starting to get cold and my dexterity, my hand's going out, I don't want to make this too hard to get open, right? All right, so we're here at the pond bank. There's a stand of willows behind me. As you can see, everything was wet. There's water all on the trees and everything else. And I know our fire source will light. I know it will start. I know it will burn. But we're going to give it the best chance that we can. We're going to find small sticks, anything smaller than your pinky, to get this fire really going, right? Because everything's against us right now. The ground is super saturated. And if we were just coming out of the water, if we were cold and damp, we need a fire almost immediately because hypothermia can set in as little as 15 minutes, right? So when I say we're coming out, we're starting with those small sticks. Those smaller sticks are going to dry out faster. They're going to burn hotter and faster. But that's going to give us a lot of heat right off the bat. And that's going to give us some heat to work with to start drying out our clothes, drying out more firewood so we can get something sustained, okay? But we can't risk grabbing sticks bigger than your thumb or big as your thumb and throwing those on there. Those may not dry out in time for our fire source, all right? So let's see what we get. All right, as you can see, this ground super wet. Everything's damp. These sticks are damp. They're over here, but at least they're a little bit off the ground. I broke them just to keep it off this because there's actually water puddled up in some areas. If I had time, obviously I'd try to get a little higher ground to make a fire. Now this is the kind of stuff I found on the ground, right? Now some of this was in the trees, some of it was on the ground, but see how narrow it is, and listen, has good crack. Now you can tell it's damp. It's really wet, but that inside is still dry, still cracking well. So, but that's the size I want. I want to make a nice, good handful here. I'm gonna take some of this and just continue to break it up. I'm not trying to pack it down. I want oxygen in there. I want air to be able to get to it. I'm gonna take out my kit. Have my kit right here. And for this scenario, I'm just gonna light. I'm not even gonna take anything out of the bag. I'm gonna light the whole bag on fire. This Ziploc bag will burn too, add to my burn time. I'm gonna pull that fiber so you can see, and I'm just gonna light it. It took almost immediately. Turn that down so it burns. Now I'm taking my small sticks here. And you see that flame is going well. That's still just the cotton balls burning. No sticks have caught on fire yet. I have some more real thin, real small sticks. Start setting those up there. We're gonna wait till those flames get above what's burning right now before we add any more. because this is the crucial time here. It's starting to get a little taller, and I'm trying to crisscross pattern. I'm not trying to make it all uniform. Fire likes to spread out. I'm trying to give it plenty of space to get more air in it, to get all this damp wood. Now you hear it start crackling and stuff. You can see I finally started. It's been burning for probably 5 or 6 minutes. I'm starting to add a little bit more bigger sticks to it, but that heat's still coming off. So I could get down like this next to my fire. Like I said, take those wet clothes off and trap all this heat back towards me. And that's a small fire. It doesn't have to be anything too crazy. Okay, I just wanted to share that kit. Super easy, super simple. It's cheap. I mean, Vaseline and cotton balls, you probably have them sitting around your house. I stole that crayon from my kid. He'll be upset if he goes reaching for a red, you know what I mean? I'll have to make that up for him later. But it's something you can add to your jacket. It's super lightweight, doesn't take up that much room. Put one in your blind bag, put one in your boat. You know, two is one is none kind of mentality. If you don't carry a pocket knife all the time, I would definitely add some type of cutting device in that kit. Add a small pocket knife so you have something in there to help cut 550 cord, that kind of thing. But I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks.